you must have clarity. Whenever we discuss any topic, we must start with root word. Hello everyone, myself Kumar Ujjwal. I welcome you all on the platform of Plutus IAS. Today, we are going to discuss federal polity, or as an ideology, federalism, because it is very important part of your Indian government and politics in PSIR. As well, it is important in GS Polity, paper 2. And moreover, federal polity or federalism is being in vogue in many countries, mostly large countries with huge diversity. And we will discuss what is federalism, what is the root word of federalism, why federalism, why in most of the big countries with more diversity, federal polity is followed, while small countries like United Kingdom, Japan, France, they have unitary polity, while big countries like USA, Canada, India, Australia, Nigeria, Germany, they have federal polity, although there are some exceptions like Switzerland, which is small but federal. So, we will discuss what is federal polity, what are its features, how they are different from unitary polity, why federal polity is required, what is the kind of federalism India is, how it is different from US federalism, whether our federal polity model is derived from US or from Canada, what are its unique features. So all these things we need to discuss. Moreover, the phases of federalism in India, and we will also discuss different variants of federalism like conflicting federalism, centralized federalism, cooperative federalism, symmetrical federalism, asymmetrical federalism, centrifugal federalism, centripetal federalism, executive federalism, legislative federalism, cooperative federalism, fiscal federalism, competitive federalism. So, these things we are going to discuss in today's class, and you must have clarity. Whenever we discuss any topic, we must start with root word. So, federal polity has the root word federus. Federus is a Latin word which means shared self-rule. Shared self-rule. So here, the shared self-rule is meant for two tiers of the government, namely federal government and its units. Units means states. So, central government in India in part 5 and state government in part 6, central government or union government in part 5 from article 52 to 151, while part 6 is state government from 152 to 237. The two tiers of the government is having federal relationship. So when we say shared self-rule, that means both center and states are sharing power, and they are getting power from the supreme law, constitution. Constitution by definition is the supreme law. So states are also empowered from the constitution, not at the mercy of center. Constitution empowers both center and states. In contrast to federal polity, there is unitary polity where states are empowered at the sweet will of center through delegation of powers, through decentralization of powers at the will of center. So in small countries, unitary polity for administrative convenience, like in United Kingdom is a unitary polity in contrast to federalism, where all powers are vested at the central government of London. France is more unitary than England. All powers are vested at the central government of Paris. Japan, all powers are vested at the central government of Tokyo. States are empowered at the mercy of center through delegation, not empowered by the constitution. But in federal polity, states are empowered by the same constitution by which center is empowered. So, in nutshell, in federal polity, states are better placed, more empowered, constitutionally empowered. And why it is so? Because in large countries, if the powers are centralized at the central government, the regional aspirations of self-rule would be neglected. As in large countries with huge diversity, the regional aspirations should not be suppressed at the whims and will of the center. Center should not dictate with the states. India partly follow federal polity, quasi-federal polity, unitary cum federal polity, or federal polity with unitary biasness. Because people of Tamil Nadu, they are closer to the government of Chennai than New Delhi. The seat of central government is New Delhi. The people of Nagaland, the Nagas' aspiration would be better understood through self-rule of Nagas if the state government at Kohima is empowered by constitution. Otherwise, they will feel that center, where there is dominance of North Indian Hindi-speaking people, they will dominate us. Similarly, in USA, United States of America, which is truly federal, the name itself is self-explanatory, focuses on states. 50 stars of American flag represent 50 states. So, America is truly federal, India is partly federal. As India's federal polity is inspired from Canada. And Canada was inspired from the Civil War of US, neighboring US. 1860 to 1865, US faced civil war. North American and South American states were fighting on the issue of slavery. And it was at the brink of disintegration. Learning lesson from neighboring US civil war, Canada provided from strong center within federal polity to maintain territorial integrity, unity of the country. Similarly, India was also facing similar situation, communal partition, nation building challenges, post-independence consolidation, so many centrifugal and separatist forces. To deal with them, a strong center was required to maintain our territorial integrity and unity. So, in federal polity, states are having more autonomy, more power, and the states are empowered by the constitution. As I contrasted it from the unitary polity, normally small countries follow unitary polity for administrative convenience. As I gave example of UK, France, Japan, they are having unitary polity. So, in federal polity, there are various mechanisms to ensure rights and interests of the states. Center cannot unilaterally encroach upon the states, as states are sufficiently empowered by the Constitution. As regional aspirations and regional self-rule is ensured by federal polity. So, you must have first elementary idea of federalism, then we will go into detailing that what exactly is federal polity and what are its features, how states are empowered. But you must first understand the essence. Why federal polity? Because regional aspirations which are away from center, they must be sufficiently empowered, their self-rule must be ensured. They should not be dictated by the center. Let me clarify. In federation, there is center and states, or federal government and state relationship is there. In confederation, there is grouping of sovereign nation states. For example, Commonwealth countries is a confederation. Similarly, Commonwealth Independent States, CIS, is a confederation, including Russia, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Belarus, Ukraine, so on. So, confederation is group of sovereign independent countries, while federal polity is within a sovereign country, which deals with the center-state relationship. So, basically, federalism deals with the center-state relationship. And normally, large countries. I said normally. China is large. China is having huge diversity as well. But China is having communist system, centralized system, unitary polity, even though it is large. Because in communist system, there is single party centralized system. But most of the large democratic countries, they follow federal polity to address the regional aspiration, to accommodate the regional aspiration, to ensure regional self-rule, and to ensure that they are in the mainstream, and to ensure that cost of remaining together is far more, or benefit is far more of remaining together than remaining separate. So, what are the mechanisms by which the states are empowered? That you need to understand. So, to contrast, first we need to see what are the features of federalism, federal polity. Versus unitary polity, or in contrast to unitary polity. In unitary polity, the root word is uni, that is centralized. All powers are vested at the union government. So, there is unitary polity. I have already said that large countries follow federal polity, and small countries, for sake of administrative convenience, they follow unitary polity. The ideal example of federal polity is USA. An ideal example of unitary polity is UK. United. But here states. Focus is on states. United States of America. So, focus is on the states. States are sufficiently empowered. So, first difference between federal polity and unitary polity is constitutional division of powers between center and states. Constitutional delimitation or division of powers between center and states. There is constitutional division of power between center and states. In other words, states are empowered by the same constitution by which center is empowered. In contrast, in unitary polity, only center is empowered by constitution. Center is empowered by constitution, while states are empowered at the sweet will of center. Means center may periodically give power to the states, delegate power to the states, or can withdraw the power of the states. So this is the first difference as far as India is concerned. In India, why I am writing here I? Because in India, this provision is there, that states are empowered by the same constitution by which center is empowered. I discussed in part 5 union government, part 6 state government, schedule 7 or article 246 having 3 lists, that is union list, state list, concurrent list. So state list is having its own sphere. So this is the first difference between federal polity and unitary polity. India in first point is having on the left side. Second, in federal polity, there is truly federal polity, there is dual citizenship. As you know, citizenship is a full and equal membership of a political community or nation state. So loyalty is one towards center, one towards state. And states also can make laws relating to citizenship. But in unitary polity, single citizenship, no dual citizenship. So if you are in US or a citizen of US, citizen of California state, citizen of US, citizen of Ohio state, citizen of US, citizen of Carolina, citizen of US, citizen of Ohio. But in England, only citizen of England or United Kingdom. As far as India is concerned, as I said, India is partly federal but partly unitary. So like England, India is having single citizenship. Article 11 says that Parliament, means Union legislature, can only make laws relating to citizenship. States cannot make any law relating to citizenship. So this is the difference. In first point, India was in left, that is constitutional division of powers. But in second point, we see that India is on this side. We don't have dual citizenship. It's not that we are citizen of India and citizen of Andhra, citizen of India and citizen of Telangana, citizen of India and citizen of UP and likes. We are citizen of India only. Moreover, state legislature are not empowered to make laws relating to citizenship. This is the second difference. The third difference between federal polity and unitary polity is that necessarily written constitution. Necessarily written constitution. Written things are in favor of the weaker states vis-a-vis stronger center. If the things are not written, if the things are not explicit, the stronger center can disturb federal equilibrium by encroaching states. But in unitary polity, there may be written constitution, but may be unwritten constitution. May be unwritten constitution. Unwritten constitution. For example, England is not having a written constitution. So states cannot claim their rights by moving to the court. They will have to approach the same center which encroaches their powers. But in federal polity, there is necessarily written constitution. There are lists in, for example, in US, there are federal list, There are state list. In federal matters, only central government will make law, but in all other matters, states will make law. Then in Canada, in US, there is federal list, and all others are on all other matters, states will make law. In Canada, there is union list and there is state list. So in the state list, the state will make laws. In our case, there are three lists: union list, state list, and concurrent list. It is inspired from Australian constitution. So we have written constitution. So here I write here, we have written constitution because partly we are federal, partly we are unitary. Federal was necessitated in wake of huge diversity, and unitary was needed to maintain territorial integrity and unity of the country. So this is the third point in relating to federal polity. Fourth point, as I mentioned earlier, that if stronger centers encroach states, weaker states, where they will move, where they will seek justice, who will protect them? So here there is federal court. Federal court, if the weaker states are encroached by the stronger center, then the weaker states could approach federal court to get their rights, interest protected. In unitary polity, there are courts. In England also there is court, there is rule of law, but there is no federal court as such. No federal court. Courts are there, but no federal court. Means even if states are encroached, like England, United Kingdom have the 4 states, namely England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. If their powers are encroached by the central government of London, they will have to approach the same central government. There is no federal court. So India is having federal court. Our Supreme Court also works as federal court. As I said, India is partly federal, partly unitary. Partly our polity is federal because of huge diversity to accommodate the diversity. The next provision which also protect weaker states vis-a-vis a stronger center is giving representation to states in upper house of the central legislature. Like in America, Senate represents states. Senate is upper house of the central legislature, and states are given representation at the union legislative level to protect their rights and interest. Because no law by the central legislature can be made to encroach the states, as they have given representation. Senate in America, Rajya Sabha in India, Bundestag in Germany, they protect the rights and interest of the states. So, upper house, necessarily there are 2 houses. Upper house gives representation to states. Representation to states. America is truly federal. And in America, Senate, the upper house, the representative of the states, is more powerful than its lower house, that is House of Representatives. America is symmetrical federalism, as all 50 states, irrespective of their population and size, get uniform 2 senators in upper house. 50 to 100 means 100 senators in upper house of the United States of America. Each state will have representation of 2 senators. India is having upper house, but we are not symmetrical federalism because difference in size and population is huge. So UP is having 31 MPs in Rajya Sabha. Bihar is having 16. Delhi is semi-state, having 3 Rajya Sabha MPs. So we are having asymmetrical. But upper house must be there in federal polity, and upper house must give representation to the states. While in unitary polity, there may not be upper house. Like in China, there is no upper house. There is single house. In United Kingdom, there is upper house, House of Lords, but House of Lords does not represent states. It represents peer groups, hereditary groups, elites, talent, not states. So either there will be no upper house. Even if there is upper house, it does not represent states. States are not given representation at the union legislative level. States are not given representation at union legislative level. Like England is having upper house, House of Lords, but it does not represent states. But America, Senate, represent states. Nigeria, Senate, represent states. India's Rajya Sabha, its name is Rajya Sabha. Primarily it represents states, partly represent talent pool, means 12 people, 12 MPs in Rajya Sabha can be nominated from science, art, literature and social movement. But mainly it works as representative of the states. Partly it works as talent pool. So in India, states are given representation. Where I am writing, they are federal features. But in India is having single citizenship, that is unitary feature. So we have so many federal features to ensure that rights and interests of the states are being protected. They are not encroached unilaterally by center. Center should not unilaterally encroach or disturb federal equilibrium to the disadvantage of the states. So states are duly protected, they are duly empowered. So this is another difference between federal polity and unitary polity. If we see more differences between federal polity and unitary polity, if you see fifth point we have seen, now sixth point. In federal polity, rigidity in amendment process. Rigidity in amendment process. Rigidity protect states. So no law which encroaches or takes away the power of the states can be easily passed by center without their consent. For example, in America, any constitutional amendment will require 2/3 majority of Senate and must be approved by 3/4 of the states, means 67% of the upper house and 75% of the states must approve, ratify, then only constitutional amendment would be through. This is the reason why in last more than 300 years, America is having less than 50 amendments. But in England, there is nothing like 2/3 majority. There is nothing like taking consent of the states or approval of the states. By simple majority, English Parliament can make any law. No judicial review. No need for 2/3 majority. No need for taking ratification of the states. So rigidity in amendment protect weaker states vis-a-vis stronger center. But in unitary polity, flexibility in amendment. Flexibility in amendment process. For example, in England, Parliament, that is central legislature, can pass any law by simple majority. States are not taken into loop. They are not, their recommendation or their suggestion or their approval or their ratification is not required to make any law or any amendment by central legislature. India is having partly federal, partly unitary. So in some areas, federal features, federal matters, there is rigidity in amendment in India. While in other non-federal matters, simple majority will work. But for amending fundamental rights, 2/3 majority, special majority will be required. DPSP, special majority. Federal matters, special majority and ratification by at least half of the states, 50% of the states. So India is partly having rigidity, partly flexibility. But England is having complete flexibility. By simple majority, any law can be made. And America is having too much rigidity in amendment process. So rigidity protect weaker states. If there is flexibility, center can easily encroach states. But if there is rigidity, whatever power has been given to the states, it cannot be unilaterally disturbed by center. It cannot be encroached by the center. It cannot be taken away by the center easily, because rigorous process for amendment is there. Another difference between federal polity and unitary polity is that residuary powers with the states. Residuary. So as far as India is concerned, I have written I here comes where both. Residuary powers with states. Like America, there is only federalist. All other subjects, states will make law. Like in the residuary powers in Germany is also with the states. Truly federal polity. There is residuary powers with the states. But in unitary polity, residuary powers with center. As far as India is concerned, India is in this category. Article 248 clearly says that residuary powers, that is subjects which are neither mentioned in central list nor in state list nor in concurrent list, on them laws would be made by center. Article 248 in Indian Constitution. For example, cyber laws. At the time of framing Constitution, there was no cyber laws, but IT Act 2000 was made. Subsequently, it was amended 2008 and subsequently. So, on cyber laws, center will make law in India, but in America, the subjects which are not mentioned anywhere, the states will make law. For example, I have already discussed in America, there is only federalist. On all other matters, states will make law. In Canada, there are two lists, central list and state list. And residuary powers in Canada is also with the center, not with the states. As I said, Canada is also having quasi-federal polity. India's quasi-federal polity is inspired from Canadian model, not from US model. So, residuary powers in Canada also with the center, like India. But residuary powers in America, Nigeria, Germany, they are truly federal. They are with the states. Australia is having three lists: central list, state list, concurrent list. Our three lists in Schedule 7 and Article 246 is inspired from Australian Constitution. So, this is regarding residuary powers. Then, here indestructible union of indestructible states. When I say indestructible, it means reorganization, means names, territories, boundaries of the states. Can it be changed by center? Can state veto the reorganization? Here, of course. Indestructible union, because union must be indestructible. for national unity and territorial integrity, sovereignty. But regarding states, because federal polity is all about center-state relationship. So regarding states, indestructible states as well. In simple language, the names, territories, boundaries of the existing states in federal polity cannot be changed by center without concurrence of the states. In contrast, in unitary polity, indestructible union, the union has to be indestructible, there is no doubt. Indestructible union of destructible states. Destructible states. So India is on this side, unitary. Article 3 says that names, territories, boundary, Article 3 of Constitution of India says that names, territories, boundaries of the existing states can be changed or reorganized by the parliament. Parliament means central legislature, by simple majority. And before such reorganization, draft of the bill is sent to state legislature for their advice. But the recommendation and advice is not binding either on president or on parliament in India. But in America, states have veto power regarding the reorganization. Here in India, states are merely consulted. For example, in 2014, Telangana was carved out from Andhra Pradesh, contrary to the recommendation of Andhra Assembly against reorganization. Andhra Assembly said no Telangana, Center said yes Telangana, and Telangana was carved out from the Andhra Pradesh. These things cannot happen in true federal polity like US. There cannot be state reorganization unilaterally by center. So indestructible union of indestructible states. Here, indestructible union of destructible states. So India is on this side. India is having, in this regard, unitary polity. So what are the other features of the federal polity in which center-state relationship is defined? Next difference is that in federal polity, like US, states by agreement form union. After American Revolution, as you know, 1776, fought by 13 colonies, which later became 50 states. And after independence, these 13 colonies or later states, 50 states later, they formed federal government by an agreement. Means federal government was the result of agreement between the states to take care of the common things like external affairs, currency, communication, defense, national security, and likes. So center was the result of agreement between the states in the US. So union or federal government was formed by agreement of states. As American federal polity is said, coming together. Who is coming together? States are coming together. Why they are coming together? They are coming together to form central government. So birth of the central government was result of agreement between the states. So states are prior to the center. In unitary polity, center is not formed or central government is not formed by agreement between the states. In fact, it is prior to the states. So center is prior to states. They are not formed by agreement between the states. So as far as India is concerned, here India is having unitary polity. It's not that Indian states as an independent entity fought our war of independence or Indian independence and then by agreement they decided to form central government. No. And moreover, center is prior to the states, as is center is in part 5, states in part 6. So center is prior to the states. But in truly federal polity, America is said to have coming together, while India is having holding together. This is the difference. So, federal government was a result of agreement between the states. As far as India is concerned, it is here. So, we see partly federal features and partly unitary features. America is truly federal, so states have their own political flag. They have their own constitution. But in unitary polity, there is no dual constitution, there is no dual citizenship. And center will be deciding the things. So, here, the focus is on empowering states, protecting states, protecting the rights and interests of the states. And in center-state relationship, we see states are given preference, autonomy, not independence, but autonomy. In confederation, there is grouping of independent sovereign nation states. But in federation, within the nation state, there are relations between center and state government. So, we have seen so many differences between center and states, so many distribution of powers and the relation. Our constitution makers visualize that there may be potential conflict between the two tiers of the government, particularly when the party in power at center is different from party in power at the states. Then conflicts are bound to take place. This is the reason why our constitution makers provided part 11, 12, 13 to define center-state relationship, to ensure that center-state relationship is explicit. So, the center-state relationship part 11, which is there from article 245 to 263, defines the legislative, executive and administrative relation between center and states. Then part 12, that is 264 to 300A, defines financial relation between center and states. Similarly, part 13 of Constitution of India, from article 301 to 307, defines the relation of trade, commerce and intercourse between center and states. So, in this way, our constitution makers tried to ensure that conflicts and confusion about jurisdiction is minimized, if not ended. Moreover, federal court or Supreme Court in India is also acting as a federal court to protect states whenever there is federal matter is directly addressed by the federal court. They don't go to high court or lower session court or district court. Directly taken up by the Supreme Court. Because in federal matters, it is a matter of the whole state, crores of population. In individual matters, you can start from the lower court. But in federal matters, directly and instantly taken up by the Supreme Court, that which also act as a federal court, to give the judgment. Because there is urgency. There are stakes and interest and rights of the crores of the people living in the states are concerned. That has to be protected. So we are not truly federal polity. US is truly federal polity. India's federal polity is inspired from Canada, I have said earlier also. So all these mechanisms, what we have seen, that India is having I just revise the things that we have done. In India, this is the unitary feature, that center is not formed by agreement between the states. In this, there is blend of rigidity and flexibility in India. Residuary powers in India is with the center, Article 248, so it is unitary. Again, Indian states are destructible, so it is also unitary. But again, single citizenship, it is unitary. But written constitution, federal. Federal court is again federal. Upper house getting representation of the states, again federal. India is having this. And constitutionally empowered states, India is having this. So India is having partly federal features and partly unitary features. India's federalism is often compared with US federalism. So we must be knowing the differences between federalism of US and federalism of India, quasi-federalism of India to be very precise. Because India is not federation of states. India is not USI, United States of India, while USA, United States of America. America is federation of states, we are union of states. Article 1 clearly says that India, that is Bharat, shall be union of states, not federation of states, because we are not truly federal, we are quasi-federal, we are federal with unitary biasness. So I must distinguish and contrast between American federalism and Indian federalism. America is a truly federal polity. American federalism and Indian quasi-federalism. Indian quasi-federalism. They are often been compared. So first of all, America, USA, United States of America. But India is not federation of states, union of states. Indestructible union, but destructible states. Here, indestructible union of indestructible states. Union of states, not federation of states, India. This is the first difference. Second difference between American federalism and Indian federalism is American federalism is symmetrical. Symmetrical federalism. All states, whether their population is more or less, geographical size is more or less, are at equal footing. They are getting equal representation in upper house. Every state will have 2 senators in upper house. Every state will have 2 senators in upper house. But India is asymmetrical federalism. Asymmetrical federalism. The reason why India is asymmetrical federalism is, first, all states are not getting same representation or uniform representation. As I mentioned earlier, as far as Rajya Sabha is concerned, UP is having 31 MPs in Rajya Sabha, Bihar is having 16, Delhi is having 3. So, and likes. So, this is the second difference. And the reason why India is asymmetrical federalism is another reason is a special responsibility of governors of certain states under Article 371. Like 371, special responsibility for Maharashtra and Gujarat governors. 371A for Nagaland's governor. 371B for Assam's governor. 371C for Manipur's governor. 370D and E for governors of Telangana for Osmania University. 371F, it is for the Sikkim governor. G for Mizoram, H for Arunachal, I for Goa, and J for Karnataka's governor to take care of this the region, Hyderabad region. So we see that our federalism is asymmetrical while American federalism is symmetrical. Another difference is American federalism is centrifugal. Powers are more diffused towards states. But Indian federalism is centripetal. Centripetal as power is more inward towards center. Another difference is American federalism is legislative federalism. State legislature have given ample powers. Indian federalism is mainly executive federalism. States are empowered, state executive is more empowered, state legislature is less empowered. But in America, states executive and legislature both are empowered. So these are the differences. Moreover, American federalism is said to be coming together. Our federalism is holding together. Holding together. Central government is duty bound to ensure unity and territorial integrity, national unity of the nation state. Here coming together because 13 colonies who later became 50 states came together to formed by to a central government or federal government by an agreement between the states. The central government was formed. So these are the differences between American federalism and that of Indian federalism. I have already repeatedly said that our federal polity is inspired from the Canadian model, not from the US model. Moreover, there are certain variants and phases of federalism that you must be knowing. First of all, in India, 1947 to 1967, there was centralized federalism. This is phases of India's federalism, centralized federalism. When we talk about centralized federalism, the Congress, Indian National Congress, was ruling both at center and states. And most of the lower rungs of the party were in the states, while high command of the party were in that center. So due to party discipline, states were not seeking autonomy or they were not assertive vis-a-vis center. Because with few exceptions, Congress ruled both at center and states. But in 1967, Congress lost in 9 states, and in many states, regional parties formed government. So there was a beginning of conflict between center and states. Akali Dal in Punjab, Dravidian parties in Tamil Nadu, Communist of Kerala. They were seeking more autonomy, more rights, more interest against center. So the most dreaded article by the states was Article 356. President's rule in a state based on breakdown of constitutional machinery, which is judged by the center, not by judiciary. Whether there is breakdown of constitutional machinery in the state or not, it will be judged by center, not by the court. So in the second phase, 1967 to 1990, there was conflicting federalism. conflicting federalism. Here, highest number of misuse of or use of 356 were there. In this phase, you will see that most of the non-Congress governments in states were dismissed based on using Article 356. Again, when there was Janata Party government at center, non-Congress government at center, they dismissed 9 Congress governments. Again, when Indira Gandhi government came back to power in 1980, it dismissed all non-Congress governments on the same ground that they have no mandate. In Jammu and Kashmir, there were president's rule in 1982, 1983, 1987. Punjab was under president's rule for the period 1987 to 1992 because of insurgency and militancy. And when the disputed structure or Babri Masjid was demolished by Karshevaks in 1992, then it's not that only UP government of BJP was dismissed, all BJP governments were dismissed, be it of Madhya Pradesh, be it of Himachal, or be it of Rajasthan at that point of time. But after 1990, the misuse of 356 has greatly come down. Thanks to coalition era. 1989 onwards, there was a coalition era. Till 2014, no party could get majority on its own. So coalition compulsion further reinforced our federal polity. Central government is bound to take states' cooperation. They cannot dictate with the states. Because now states after 1990 are playing role not only in forming government in the state, but also at center. Moreover, thanks to Sarkaria Commission 1982 to 1987, based on center-state relationship, that provided many safeguards against misuse of 356, that gave 247 recommendations. Most of them were accepted. Most important was Interstate Council formed in 1990 based on Article 263. Thanks to Punchi Commission, that is 2007 to 2009, they give 311 recommendations to protect the rights and interests of the states for cooperative federalism. So 1990 onwards, we see cooperative federalism. Within the same framework of constitution, now cooperative federalism means states are partners of the center, not assistants of the center. For sake of uniformity in taxation or tax reforms or for LPG or economic reforms, now center must have partnership with the states, cooperative role with the states. And there are so many forums for interaction between center and states, be it interstate council, be it zonal council, be it National Integration Council, be it Planning Commission, be it Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog is for both cooperative federalism and good governance, with a wing Team India, which includes not only Prime Minister but all Chief Ministers as well. Moreover, GST Council, they are also reflecting fiscal federalism. Cooperative federalism, ideal example is Germany, where center and states must be in cooperative role, they must be in partnership. And even BJP got majority on its own in 2014 and 19. The NDA 1 and NDA 2 government led by Modi, also coalition government, and what to talk of NDA Modi 3.0, that is also coalition government. Coalition government where more than one party members join the government. So fractured mandate has one positive. Fractured mandate promoted federal polity, reinforced federal polity, strengthened federal polity. So cooperative federalism, fiscal federalism is more relating to fiscal devolution of powers to the weaker states. States are often facing fund crunch. So 14th Finance Commission recommended for whooping jump from 32% share of the states to 42%. So more devolution of financial powers to the states is also part of fiscal federalism. More share of the states in taxes, their representation in GST Council, their representation in Niti Aayog, their more financial devolution of powers, fiscal federalism. And now competitive federalism. Competition is good, rule-based, healthy, desirable, should be promoted. But conflict is undesirable. Like a street fight is conflict. No rule is followed. But wrestling based on rules is a competition. If states compete with each other regarding performance, regarding good governance, it is good, it is healthy. It is healthy that if Telangana claims that it is number one in ensuring social justice to the marginalized sections, Tamil Nadu also claims such thing. Gujarat claimed to be number one in solar electricity. Maharashtra during COVID provided a model. Gujarat model, Delhi model of Kejriwal, although Delhi is not a full-fledged state. So, if the states are competing, it is healthy, it is good. And if the states are competing, it is healthy and good, and fiscal federalism or competitive federalism will ensure that the states will have more autonomy to work. They have their own sphere of work. So that is cooperative federalism, fiscal federalism, competitive federalism. These are the phases of federalism. So we have discussed in a brief the all thing in detail. You will have to sync these things with the other aspects like Article 1, Part 1, and then Part 11, Part 12, Part 13, and various things like emergency provisions, how the bureaucracy is also pro-center, how the Finance Commission also pro-center. There are so many unitary inclinations, and unitary inclinations are there in our federal polity. So we are not a truly federal polity, we are federal cum unitary. So that's it for today. We'll discuss more in the next class. Thank you.